Man, the way we have so many political parties in South Africa, it is so hard to keep up with political parties. I mean, how does IEC allow a situation where over 350 political parties have registered with them? How is it possible for over 350 political parties to register with IEC? Guys, I know this is freedom of choice. I know this is, I don't even want to infringe on any of our rights, but I think we can criticize it when it's been abused, because right now I think this whole freedom of choice thing is being abused. I think it's been abused because politicians love going to the media and saying that South Africans are making irrational decisions and South Africans are not listening to opposition parties. South Africans do not even want to give opposition parties a chance. But do politicians, IEC, and political parties honestly expect the South Africans to go over 350 political manifestos? Is that what you people expect from South Africans? Because if you are not going to be voted for, you are going to feel bad and say that, man, South Africans did not read my manifesto. I wrote all the right things, but South Africans did not read all of them. But how do you expect the South Africans to read over 350 political manifestos? And there are more political parties, I think, that are still registering with IEC. So how many political parties are we going to see on the ballot in 2024 elections? Are we going to see 500 political parties? Guys, has this ever been done anywhere else in the world? Has this ever been done anywhere else in the world, man? I don't remember watching the elections anywhere in the world where people have over 350 political parties. Man, what is happening in South Africa is total abomination. The confusion that is going to hit the people that are going to vote, the confusion that is going to hit the people that are going to count the votes. Man, trouble is coming after these elections. These 350 political parties, man, are bringing nothing but trouble. Because you can imagine, man, the confusion that is going to hit even the people that are going to count the votes. Because to me, it sounds like 350 political parties, man, we are not going to get the results the way that we get. The results are going to take time before they are actually announced. And that is going to give the likes of the African National Congress to actually concoct their own things. The results are not going to come out like we know. The results are going to take much long to come out because there's so much to calculate, because there's so many political parties. And all of these people, man, are demanding their votes to be counted. So what do actually IEC expect from South Africa? What do political parties actually expect from South Africa? Man, I need these people, man, to be honest with South Africans. What is it exactly are you trying to do in these elections? Because by allowing over 350 political parties, man, it sounds shady. It sounds shady, man. If you were to call anyone else in the world right now and say, man, South Africa is going to the elections, man, in a couple of months. And guess what? We have over 350 political parties to choose from. Someone would think that you are crazy. Someone would think that you are crazy, man. Is there, like, has this thing ever happened anywhere else in the world?
You said this week that President Cyril Ramaphosa has been an absent father. Why do you believe so?
Well, I think we all know from our
But guys, an absent father, man. Guys.
who are looking for something different.
You said this week that President Cyril Ramaphosa has been an absent father. Why do you believe so?
Well, I think we all know from our family discussions and our friendship groups and the general talk out there, our president's been absent at key moments in this country. He hasn't given a proper press conference to account to the people, and he's generally regarded as being absent. And that's why I equated it to an absent father. And I think
And he's always shocked, man. You know, Ramaphosa is always shocked. Everything. Ramaphosa is always shocked. It's almost as if the man is not the president of South Africa. Ramaphosa is always shocked. Ramaphosa does not even have a clue what's happening in South Africa. Who the hell is Ramaphosa working for in union buildings? Because he doesn't know anything that is happening in South Africa. Whenever Ramaphosa opens up his mouth, surely tells you that Ramaphosa has no clue on what is happening in the country. So who is Ramaphosa working for in the union buildings? The man is absent. What Roger JARDING is saying is the truth. The man is absent. The man is indecisive. And South Africans are sick and tired of Ramaphosa and his indecisiveness. Who is Ramaphosa working for exactly?
I think he really needs to step forward and account for what's going on in this country.
What would you have liked him to do with some of the specific challenges that the country faces that he hasn't done?
I think what South Africa needs
Aye,
at this point.
but asking Ramaphosa to account, man, I don't think Ramaphosa will ever account for anything. Ramaphosa does not even want to account for Palapala. So do you think Ramaphosa is going to stand in front of South Africans and say that South Africans, I know that I have wronged you guys. I know that my administration was a total mess for the past 5 years. I know that for the past 5 years, man, have been the toughest 5 years we've ever faced as South Africans. And for that, I'm very sorry. We are promising to do things better. I mean, no, Ramaphosa will never say that. Ramaphosa will never say that. Every time Ramaphosa gets a chance to address the nation, he will tell you how good the ANC is doing. He will tell you about what the ANC has done since 1994. Ramaphosa does not have time to account for anything. He doesn't have time to account for anything. So asking Ramaphosa to actually account for the mess that South Africa is today, you will never see that happen. You will never see it happen.
With some of the specific challenges that the country faces that he hasn't done?
I think what South Africa needs at this point in our history is more decisive leadership. I have found in the many companies that I've been involved in and organizations, people tend to want decisions. Sometimes the decisions do not go in their favor, but they want a sense of direction and they want a sense of leadership. And I think it's really less about the person. It's about the attributes that we need in a leader in 2024, which is very competitive. The world is modernizing around us. Our country is fracturing. We have many challenges. Our manufacturing base is eroding. And we need more visionary and decisive leadership at this point in our history. Mm-hmm. And I think a tired, stagnant party is not the party to take us forward at this point in time.
Do you think he overpromised? Because the business...
Mm-hmm. And I think a tired, stagnant party is not the party to take us forward at this point in time.
And guys, when you look at Roger Jardine, when you look at South African voters, do you think that South Africans can actually vote for someone like Roger Jardine? I think that it would have been better if Roger Jardine was in the, behind the scenes and allowing someone to come as the face of the party. Because I honestly don't believe that South Africans can actually vote for Roger Jardine. No matter what Roger Jardine says, South Africans are not going to vote for Roger Jardine. Do you think that South Africans can actually vote for Roger Jardine or someone like Roger Jardine, despite everything that he says? I don't think South Africans can actually vote for Roger Jardine. I think his initiative is wonderful. I think whatever that he's trying to do is good. Okay, fine. But is he the right man to be the face of this change stuff now? Because right now, Roger Jardine just looks like one of these opposition parties. Like, he just looks like one of these opposition parties. Because I think what is happening right now in South Africa is that political parties, especially the new political parties, man, they are not seeing the game that is being played in South Africa. South African politics, it's about identity and it's about racial. If you're not going to play that kind of politics, South Africans are not going to recognize you. That's why most of these political parties, man, they will be announced within days. South Africans have already forgotten about that. Why? Because these political parties, man, are simply focusing on the issues. These political parties, they want us to talk about the things that actually matter into this country. But this is not how the people of this country want you to politic. The people of this country, man, they want you to stand on stage and insult someone. They want you to stand on stage and attack someone. This is the only way you can actually get the people's attention. I mean, like the case example is Jacob Zuma. You can see what Jacob Zuma is doing. Jacob Zuma going from city to city, town to town, attacking the African National Congress. That is the only way he's keeping his name up, because what the African National Congress is doing, they are responding to Jacob Zuma. And the more they respond to Jacob Zuma, the more airtime Jacob Zuma gets. So I don't think people can actually vote for Roger Jardine, not because Roger Jardine is a horrible person, but because Roger Jardine, the type of person that he is and the way he conducts himself, this is not the type of politician that South Africans love. This is not the type of politician that South Africans love. And this is one thing that many political parties, especially the young political parties, are failing to see. That having people with credibility, people who can actually stand there with credibility, man, it is not helping the party. Get someone rogue. Get someone rogue, man. Get someone who can actually take the fight from other political parties, take someone who is not scared to call out political parties, then you are going to see traction. Then people are going to follow you. Because you know one thing about the people, man, people, they want someone whom they feel that he's punching on their behalf. They want someone who's going to stand there and say that Ramaphosa is an incompetent president. They want someone who's going to stand there and say, I don't want anything that has to do with John Steenhuisen. They want someone who actually knows how to attack. They want someone who knows how to punch on their behalf. Because if you are an honorable person, if you are a calm person trying to talk about the solutions that are going to help this country move forward, the people of this country, they're not going to look at you. The people of this country, they're not going to look at you. So, man, if I were to form a new political party, man, despite whatever that we want to do, I would get a rogue person, someone who's not scared to punch for us to get the motion. Because in South Africa, you cannot build a political party based on rationality, based on the debates, wanting the best for the country, and wanting to have mature conversations with other people about the direction of the country. This is not how you get people's support in South Africa, unfortunately. So you have to play the game that has been played. You have to play the game that has been played, man. You can see with Julius Malema. You can see with Julius Malema. Even Cyril Ramaphosa, if you guys were listening to Cyril Ramaphosa when he was delivering that January 8 statement, Ramaphosa, man, now is a political man. He's throwing shots. Ramaphosa is calling out people. He's throwing out shots because he understands that the members of the African National Congress, they want him to be strong now. The members of the African National Congress, I'm sorry. The members of the African National Congress understands that the party is under siege right now. So they cannot afford to have a president that is calm, collected, trying to have rationality. No, they want a president. I'm sorry, man. Where's that drink? The supporters of the African National Congress, man, they don't want someone who's going to stand there and be rational and talk about the issues of this country. You know Ramaphosa is not... But if you listen to Ramaphosa's speech recently, you can hear whenever Ramaphosa speaks that right now, he's a politician. Right now, the gloves are off. He's calling out Jacob Zuma. He's calling out Umkhonto weSizwe. He's calling out opposition parties. He's saying that, man, if you want to criticize the ANC, it's fine. You can criticize the ANC, but criticize us based on the fact. Look at what the ANC has done since 1994. You cannot come here and say that the African National Congress hasn't done anything. Look at what we have done for South Africa since 1994. Ramaphosa is coming out swinging. So this is the reason why I'm saying people like Roger Jardine, okay, you are fine, you have a vision, but I don't think you should be the face of Change Starts Now, because South Africans are not going to vote for you. You are not the type of politicians that South Africans are actually attracted to. South Africans are attracted to the Ace Magashule type political party, you know, the Julius Malema, the Fikile Mbalula. South Africans are attracted to those type of political parties and politicians. This is why it is so hard for the DA to get the traction recently. Because the DA is trying to move as a rational political party. They are trying to have conversations. They are trying to have debates. They are trying to speak with everyone. And this is not how South Africans actually love their politics. South Africans love their politics dirty. So get someone who can actually throw the shots. Get someone who can actually get support and behind Change Starts Now. Get someone who can actually start throwing the shots at other opposition parties. Someone who can start challenging opposition parties. Someone who can start challenging the African National Congress. Because I can tell you, man, you can do these type of interviews. You see these interviews that Roger Jardine loves doing, these calm interviews. These interviews where we are talking about the issues that are facing the country and what we can do to actually fight these issues that are facing the country. We have the solutions as Change Starts Now for all of these issues that are facing the country. We just need the platform. Men, South Africans are not going to vote for you. South Africans are not going to vote for you. Unfortunately, this is the type of politics that South Africans enjoy. It is the type of politics that South Africans enjoy, man. So if I were a leader or a founder of a new political party, man, I would never have someone actually with stature, someone who actually wants to talk like a reasonable person, because this is not how you get people behind you. This is not how you get people behind you, man. The way you get people behind you is the same way Julius Malema did it, is the same way Ace Magashule did it, is the same way Jacob Zuma is doing it. That's why all of these people, man, they have motion compared to other opposition parties. That's why they have motion, because South Africans enjoy that kind of politics. South Africans enjoy that kind of politics, man. We go on this platform, we come on this platform, and we talk about how Fikile Mbalula is an embarrassment, how Fikile Mbalula is degrading the members of the African National Congress. But what I can tell you is that, man, that the members of the ANC, they love Fikile Mbalula because Fikile Mbalula does not allow anyone to say nonsense about the African National Congress. Fikile Mbalula does not mind embarrassing himself for the African National Congress. And this is the reason why people within the African National Congress, they love Fikile Mbalula. They know if someone attacks African National Congress before anyone else, Fikile Mbalula tomorrow will be in front of the cameras talking trash to that person. The ANC loves that because Fikile Mbalula is punching on their behalf. He's punching on their behalf. Unfortunately, man, this is the kind of politics that we have in South Africa today. This is the kind of politics that we have in South Africa today. So even if you have a brilliant manifesto, even if you have brilliant ideas to take this country forward, but to get the support of the people, man, you cannot get the support of the people in this country with rationality. You cannot do that. You can only get the support of the people in this country, man, by insulting other political parties, by challenging President Cyril Ramaphosa, by challenging other opposition parties. There's no way you're going to get South African support with rationality. Unfortunately, I honestly wished we could live in a country. Man, if we lived in a country where people actually embrace the debates, if we lived in a country where people actually embrace the policies, many of these political parties, man, would be non-existent. Many of these political parties would be non-existent. When you look at Isma Khashule, there's nothing new that he came up with. Everything that Isma Khashule is talking about, man, those are the policies of the African National Congress. He doesn't even have to come up with new policies. Those policies are the policies of the African National Congress. But what Isma Khashule does every time when he's in front of the cameras, he says something controversial. He says something controversial, and you can see that people are actually following Isma Khashule. People are following Isma Khashule, man. Recently, Isma Khashule was here in the Free State in Velko. People are following Isma Khashule, man. The man has support all over Free State because every time he gets a chance to be in front of the camera, he pretends to be on the side of the people and punch on behalf of the people. That's what people want. That's what people want, man. Do you sit there and wonder why Julius Malema is so popular? Julius Malema is so popular today in South Africa because this is exactly what Julius Malema did. Exactly what Julius Malema did, man. South Africans, man, were crying, saying, man, we are dying. The African National Congress is killing us. And then Julius Malema decided to step on the plate and say, man, I'm going to take on these guys. If I have to insult these people, I'm going to insult these people. I know it is not professional. I know many people are going to say that I'm an idiot, but I know there are a lot of South Africans who are going to say, yes, Julius Malema, thank you for punching on our behalf. Thank you for punching on our behalf. This is what the people need. This is what the people need. So even if you have a brilliant ideas as political parties, even if you have a brilliant manifesto, even if you have brilliant direction in which way you want to take the country, but you cannot do that with rationality in South Africa. Unfortunately, this is where we are.
Do you think he overpromised? Because the business sector, which you were part of, had incredible confidence in him when we started. There was some sense of hope that he was coming to clean up. I mean, business funded quite incredibly his campaign. So what has changed? Do you think business was sidestepped? They thought this is the man coming to clean up because more and more voices are coming from the sector, seemingly quite disappointed with that lack of decisiveness, as you say.
But I must say that if the businesses honestly expected Ramaphosa to do a cleanup, what kind of a cleanup did the business expect from Cyril Ramaphosa? Those people who gave Cyril Ramaphosa's money to campaign in the past election, when Ramaphosa promised clean governance, what kind of clean governance do these people actually expect from the African National Congress? I mean, anyone with eyes, everyone with ears knows how the African National Congress operates. So there's no way that you're going to expect Cyril Ramaphosa to simply come out and start throwing cadres into jail. The African National Congress didn't have cadre deployment for nothing. They didn't have cadre deployment for nothing, because if the party was a party that actually has integrity, they wouldn't have a cadre deployment policy. They wouldn't have cadre deployment policy. So you can't tell me that it is okay for the African National Congress to go on with this cadre deployment thing, and now you want people to be held accountable for being incompetent on the job. The African National Congress loves cadre deployment. The African National Congress promotes cadre deployment. They promote cadre deployment, so there was no way Ramaphosa was going to come out and now start holding people accountable for being incompetent in their jobs when he loves cadre deployment, when he was the chair of that cadre deployment committee. So what kind of What kind of cleanup did people actually expect from Cyril Ramaphosa? I don't know what exactly people expected from Cyril Ramaphosa. Honestly.
He was coming to clean up. I mean, business funded quite incredibly his campaign. So what has changed? Do you think business was sidestepped? They thought this is the man coming to clean up because more and more voices are coming from the sector, seemingly quite disappointed with that lack of decisiveness, as you say.
I think a big part of what has happened is that supporters of the president underestimated the extent to which he would be beholden to the party. And in fact, the president has said on many occasions that his main task is to unite the party. I would have thought a president's main task is to unite the people of the country and to take us forward on a path of progress. And I think the way that played out has led to that growing disappointment and disillusionment with the president.
All right. Roger, Jardine, thank you so much for making time for us. And
I mean, the ANC has always prioritized the party over the country. So for people to think that suddenly that Ramaphosa was going to change everything, man, it makes no sense. Even Ramaphosa told us that he would rather be a weak president than to divide the African National Congress. He wants the African National Congress unity at all cost. At all cost, he doesn't mind South Africa going into the gutters for this unity of the African National Congress. And what has he done? What has he done in the past 5 years? Guys, I don't know. Please tell me what you think on the comment section, man. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.